Today we're talking Roy Jones Jr. Is he the most physically gifted and most athletic boxer to ever step foot in a ring? Let's get into it. Real Talk Boxing.
Fight fans all over the world, welcome back to Real Talk Boxing. Listen, today we are talking about one of my favorite fighters of all time, Mr. Roy Jones Jr. Listen, Roy Jones Jr. holds a special place in my heart. He's the one that implanted the passion of boxing in my heart the first time I seen him fight. And I watched a lot of boxing matches before Roy Jones. But he was special. He was very, very special. So what I want to ask you guys today is, and I'm going to actually give you my opinion and my answer, is Roy Jones the most physically gifted, most athletic fighter that ever touched a pair of boxing gloves? Now listen, I'm going to explain to you what I mean by is he the most athletic. You have a lot of boxers out there that just box. You take a boxer out of the boxing ring, put him on the dance floor, he can't dance a lick. You take a boxer out of the boxing ring, throw a basketball to him, he don't know how to dribble, he can't even shoot. Throw him a football, he can't catch it. That's what I mean. Physically gifted, man. Athletic. I believe Roy Jones could have stepped out of boxing and played a professional sport, which he was semi-pro in basketball, but we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So, that's what I mean by physically gifted and athletic. Let's do a little research. Let's do a little background on Roy Jones, okay? 1988 Olympics was held in Seoul, Korea. Roy Jones Jr. fought in that specific Olympics, right? He chopped down through everybody. Every fighter they put in front of him, he chopped them down. No fighter won one round against Roy Jones Jr., not one. He got to the finals to fight for the gold medal against a guy by the name of Park Si-han or Park Si-hun, whichever way you want to pronounce it. He was Korean. The fight started from the beginning of the fight to the end of the fight. Roy Jones dominated and controlled the fight. They were taking a particularly long time to gather up the scorecards. They knew something was going down. They robbed Roy Jones. Long story short, they robbed him of his gold medal. Gave it to Park Si-hun. The headshot scores were 86 for Roy Jones, 32 for Park Si-hun. Anybody with eyes can see that he won the fight. Stevie Wonder can see that he won the fight. But they robbed him. But later on, the commissioners got together and they banned those three judges for life for robbing Roy Jones. They fixed that, but they didn't fix it all the way. Why not give Roy Jones his just due and what he deserved, which was that gold medal? But they never did that. But okay, anyway. Roy Jones Jr. started out his professional career as a junior middleweight. A lot of people will argue and say that it was middleweight, but as a junior middleweight. He is a 4-division world champion. He went all the way to heavyweight and faced Johnny Ruiz for his WBA heavyweight championship and won that fight. I go way back with Roy Jones Jr. Like I said, he's the reason why I wanted to box. So let's get into it. Let's get into it, man. Enough talk. I've seen Roy Jones Jr. do a lot of things in the ring that I have yet to see other fighters do. I've seen a lot of fighters mimic and pattern their style after Roy Jones Jr. and not quite there. Why? Because Roy Jones, I believe, is one of a kind. I believe that a fighter like Roy Jones Jr. comes once a lifetime. When you put your hands behind somebody, when you put your hands behind your back and catch somebody with a hook and knock them out, that's athleticism. When you can lead with a right hook, that's athleticism. When you can throw 8 hooks just as fast as you can throw 8 jabs, that's athleticism. When you don't have to use textbook technique, basics, and get away with a lot of things, that's athleticism. So I'm going to go ahead and tell you, yes, I believe Roy Jones Jr. was the most physically gifted and most athletic boxer that ever laced up the gloves, hands down. Now, the peak of his career, the start of his career is when he beat one of my top 5 fighters James lights out Tony. When he beat Tony, there's an old saying. If you watched wrestling back in the day, if you're a fan of Ric Flair, there's an old saying. To beat a man, you got to beat the man. And at that time, James Toney was the man. He was knocking out everybody. Everybody. And I'm going to do a video on James Toney because, like I say, he's one of my top 5 fighters. Along with Roy Jones. But Roy Jones beat him, man. I mean, he boxed him around the ring. He used the awkward style. He used his speed. Now, James Toney said he didn't train like he was supposed to in order to win that fight. Now, listen. James Toney usually don't make up stuff. And James Toney usually walks it like he talk it. But I don't believe that. I believe that Roy Jones is just more physically gifted and more athletic than James Toney. And that's what led him to that win. Roy Jones Jr. does things that people just cannot do. He fought well past his prime. I believe he should have stopped fighting after he won that belt, the heavyweight crown from Johnny Ruiz. He should have called it quits then. But I think he had an obligation to Antonio Tarver. I don't know. And he had to go back down to light heavyweight. He didn't lose fat, y'all. He lost muscle. That first fight against Antonio Tarver was really, really close, but he didn't do enough to take the title from the champion. But he didn't leave it in nobody else's hands in that second fight. Tarver knocked him out cold, broke my heart, man. I wanted to quit boxing. I couldn't believe it. It took me a long time to respect Antonio Tarver because I hated him. I hated him. Every time I seen Antonio Tarver, I wanted to smack him on the back of his bald head. I couldn't stand him. But hey, man, it is what it is. And then they fought again for the third time, and Roy Jones lost. Antonio Tarver had his number. You listen, for people who don't know, there's always somebody out there who got your number. You can have a fighter, put 2 fighters together. This fighter has beat 5 of this guy's opponents easy. And this fighter has only beat 1 of this guy's opponents, and he struggled. Styles make fights. See, when you're looking at numbers and you're looking at paper, they don't always matter. Some fighters' style has another fighter's number. And that was the case with Antonio Tarver. I don't even want to talk about that no more. I'm getting depressed just saying it. But in my opinion, Roy Jones Jr. is athletic as all get out. There has been no other fighter in the past or right now that has been more athletic than Roy Jones Jr. In my opinion, you tell me what you think. If you haven't seen the fight, this is when he was well past his prime, and this opponent was too, Jeff Lacey. Watch Roy Jones Jr. versus Jeff Lacey. Oh, my goodness. Watch Roy Jones Jr. versus Richard Hall. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness. Then he knocked Virgil Hill out with a body shot. Virgil Hill was a big dude. He was trained by Freddie Roach at the time. And Virgil Hill wasn't no joke. Roy Jones got him out of there with a body shot. Easy. The hand speed, man. The hand speed, the ability to set up fighters, man. To lead whatever. Did you see him fight Vinny Pazienza? When he knocked Vinny Paz out, he led with an uppercut. He led with an uppercut and finished with an uppercut. Most fighters, when they lead with an uppercut, they get knocked out by a right or left hook. Do not throw up an uppercut on the outside. If anybody's out there training and fighting, an uppercut thrown on the outside is the wrong thing to do. You get your butt knocked out. You're going to get countered by a hook. Unless you're Roy Jones Jr. Listen, leave your comment below. Let me know what you think about Roy Jones Jr. Is he the most physically gifted and athletic fighter to ever step in the ring? My opinion is yes. As always, respect all. Fear none. God bless. Like, comment. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, subscribe. Holler at you people. I'm praying for you. Peace.